Someone is lying about Springfield, Ohio. Either it's the media or Trump. Good morning, Kuhner country. Okay, my friends, this is now turned into a massive, massive election issue. It is everywhere. It is on social media. It's playing huge in Ohio, which is a key state. It's playing nationally. And it all started with this. David Muir, in the infamous now debate on Tuesday, was asking Donald Trump about the border, about illegal immigration, and what he would do about it. And Trump mentioned, obviously, what is taking place in Springfield, Ohio. And just to very quickly recap for those of you who have not been following it very closely, Springfield, Ohio is a small town. Prior to the Biden-Harris administration, it was a town, please listen very carefully, because this tells you everything you need to know about what Comrade Kamala has done to our country. And remember, she is the border czar. This is her border. Biden anointed her as being responsible for the border. March 2021. Kamala, in fact, even acknowledged it in her own tweet that she put up on X, saying that President Biden has now entrusted me with dealing and solving all of the issues on the border. I look forward to it. So this is her catastrophe. It is completely at her feet, and of course her boss, Dementia Joe. When the Biden-Harris regime came to power, Springfield, Ohio, which is a small town between Columbus, the capital of Ohio, and Dayton, a sleepy town, a working class town, in many ways just a simple, ordinary American town, predominantly white, but with a large African American and a little bit of a Latino population. It went from 40,000 to 60,000 in less than 3 years. And the reason why the town exploded, swollen, it literally was swelling in size by a third, was because Haitian migrants were deliberately poured into that town by Kamala. And they targeted it because it was a red city, in a red county, in an increasingly red state. And they said, you know what? That's where we're going to drop the Haitian migrants. And so 20,000 of them poured in less than 3 years. No one asked the town. No one asked the mayor, although he welcomed them. No one asked the voters. No one asked anybody. They just brought him in, wave after wave, flight after flight, bus after bus. And the residents now, for over a year and a half, this didn't start yesterday, over a year and a half, have now been complaining nonstop to the city council, in public hearings, in letters to the mayor, in letters and emails to the governor, in letters and emails to the senators, both J.D. Vance and Sherrod Brown, the Democrat. This has been well known what's been happening in Ohio. And the residents are complaining about many things, not just the pets being eaten. It's a lot more than the pets being eaten. They are literally saying that these Haitians are given driver's licenses or temporary driving permits. They don't know the rules of the road. Most of them cannot read English. And now that town has been turned into a combat zone. 8 to 10 accidents a day. People getting run over. People getting killed in hit and runs. Cars smashing into buildings, going the opposite way down one-way streets, going against the road and running. There was a big incident last year, August 2023. 11-year-old boy was killed in a school bus where an illegal Haitian migrant went down the wrong way of the road and barreled into the bus at full speed, killing that boy, 20 other children sent to the hospital. Trash, filth everywhere. All of these Haitians are completely unvaccinated. I'm not talking about the COVID jab. No basic vaccines whatsoever. Diseases are being brought in. Rent, because they're given vouchers, has now skyrocketed. And regular residents are now being pushed out of their rental apartments to make way for the Haitian migrants. There is now a homeless crisis in the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, there is now a homeless crisis in Springfield, Ohio. But it's not the Haitians. They're living in hotels, they're living in migrant shelters, and they've been given vouchers to live in rental apartments. And so the low-income residents have been forced out. They're living on the streets, including, by the way, and this has been thoroughly documented and corroborated, veterans. Homeless veterans now in Springfield, Ohio. Crime has exploded. But the other thing the residents have noticed is that animals are disappearing everywhere. Cats in particular, gone. Gone. In public parks, we have photos, we have pictures, we have videotape of Haitian migrants grabbing ducks and geese, ripping their heads off, and then carrying decapitated ducks and geese home to eat, to roast, to barbecue, whatever they're doing. And the residents are saying, this is savagery. This is the third world. We have lost our town. And Trump finally spoke up for them. And now it has unleashed the mother of all debates. Listen now to Donald Trump. Roll cut 1. This was Tuesday night against Comrade Kamala in that now infamous debate. Roll cut 1, Mike.
Have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
You hear Kamala Harris cackling in the background. Okay, that's her. ABC broke their own rules. They unmuted her mic. It was deliberate. So the audience, the American people, could hear her cackling and laughing, mocking Trump. And then immediately, David Murr, that hack, sprung into action. Roll the moderator, one of the supposed to be fair and impartial. Roll cut 1A, Mike.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from television.
But the people on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme.
Talk about extreme. Now, the media has gone, there's no other word, they've gone ape. This is nonstop. It is nonstop. MSNBC. This is CNN. ABC continuing with the lies. CNN, CBS, NBC News, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Associated Press, the Boston Globe. I could go on. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. And they're mocking Trump. Now, they're trying to claim that Trump is lying. That no pets are being eaten, no cats are being eaten, no ducks or geese are being eaten. For some reason, they're obsessing with the pets. To hell with the, the people. That poor 11-year-old boy, or there's another one, a 71-year-old grandmother. I'm going to get to this. How she literally got hit so hard by a Haitian migrant recklessly driving. She was out taking back her trash cans after the trash pickup came. And this Haitian migrant flew down the road so fast, he hit her so hard. He literally hit her across the street. She flew across the street. He killed her instantly. Nothing. Okay, but let's stick to the pets. Who's lying? That is now the question. There's only one person that can be right. Either it's Donald Trump and the residents of Springfield, or Kamala Harris and the media. More next. 6:19 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay. And I mentioned this on my X account yesterday. And if you're not following me on X, you really should. Everybody listening in Kuhner Country, please just follow me. It costs you nothing. I'd love for you to follow me, and I can always express my opinions and my thoughts and then get your feedback as well. And we can help get the truth out there on social media together. So my handle is at the Kuhner Report, all one word, at the Kuhner Report, Kuhn as in national ER. Now, as I mentioned on X, what I'm seeing now, because this is just, it's become much bigger than pets and cats and dogs. It's now really become, in a sense, a proxy war over the issue of illegal immigration, over the issue of multiculturalism, over the issue of open borders, and ultimately now, what they believe, this is what the media is hoping, to paint Trump as a racist, as a xenophobic racist, for daring to bring up the issue of these Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, eating cats, eating ducks, eating geese. And it's eerily reminiscent to what I saw happen in 2020, where you had the Hunter Biden laptop. And the media kept insisting, and the Biden regime kept insisting, the Biden campaign at the time, Joe Biden kept insisting, the CIA, the NSA, all of the big major media outlets, this is Russian disinformation. Or as the Russians put it, disinformatio. It's disinformatio. It's not real. It's a hoax. Trump is lying. Do you remember that? Listen to Biden. This was Biden during 2020 in that infamous debate where he said, Hunter's laptop? No, classic earmarks of a Russian misinformation campaign. Roll cut 1B, Mike.
And his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this
that's
where you're
exactly
going?
what.
This is
told.
where he's going. The laptop is Russia,
Yes.
Gentlemen,
Russia.
I want to stay on the issue of race.
You
okay?
have to be kidding. Here we
Mr.
go
President,
again with Russia.
We're going to continue
Boy,
on the issue of race. Mr. President,
believe
you've
that one.
described the Black Lives Matter movement.
Okay, and then, just to show you, remember, just to bring it back to all of you. I know you all know this, but just to bring it back, I'm just going to play a montage of CBS. I'm not talking NBC, ABC, PBS, CNN, MSNBC. Oh, my God, just over and over and over, okay? It's a hoax. It's not true. It's misinformation. It's disinformation. And of course, you had the 51 senior intelligence officials, former CIA directors, all saying, oh no, this is a Russian misinformation job. Listen now to CBS. Roll cut 1C. Mike.
The Trump campaign is accusing Twitter and Facebook of censorship after the social media companies blocked the spread of an unverified story about former Vice President Joe Biden's son and a laptop allegedly full of his old emails. It's a story raising concerns about whether it's real or just designed to sow confusion in the final weeks of the election.
Experts say it has all the hallmarks of information laundering.
This looks like your classic disinformation campaign.
Eric O'Neill is a former FBI operative.
Steal the information with a cyber attack, get the emails from Hunter Biden's account, and then put them on these laptops that are left at a repair store. And that's how the information is now laundered into the public.
Who do you think is behind this?
Well, the Russians would be my number one guess.
Social media outlets were quick to limit the spread of the story. Twitter briefly suspending the accounts of the Trump campaign and White House press secretary after they tried to share it.
I could go on. And they did it again and again and again. And you know what? They all lied. They all lied. They were all proven false. They never apologized once because it turned out, and Hunter himself had to admit it, and the Biden-Harris regime itself had to admit it, the Hunter Biden laptop was 100% authentic and real. The Russians had nothing to do with it. There was no misinformation, no disinformatio. No disinformation. It was all true. All of the emails on it, true. All of the damaging emails, true. My point being, this to me, Springfield, Ohio, is now going to be known as the 2024 version of the Hunter Biden laptop hoax. Now, they're trying to claim that this is not happening in Springfield. That none of this is going on. None of it. It's a happy town. The migrants are great. There are no problems. And all of the residents are lying. That's what they're now claiming. And the big one is Trump is lying. So here is now what we know. Okay? Definitively. Thousands of residents, thousands, have now spoken publicly or on Facebook or on TikTok or at city council meetings saying that they have personally witnessed this. I'm not talking about all the other crimes. Let's just focus on the ducks and the geese and the cats. That they have personally seen Haitian migrants cutting the heads off of ducks and geese from the parks, abducting them at the park, and then walking away with these animals. We have pictures. We have photos. We have videos. Now, are they all lying? Are the photos lying? Are the videos lying? Everybody now is lying in Springfield, Ohio? Now, I'm going to play some 911 calls. We have the tapes. We have the tapes where people are calling in and saying, hey, look, I just saw them. They abducted the geese and ducks at the local park, at the pond, and they snapped the duck's head off, and they're walking home with the freaking duck. I've got that. Trust me. So much more. Next. 6:32 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay. Someone's lying. Someone's lying. So either the media is lying and Kamala Harris and the Democrats, or President Trump and the thousands and thousands of residents in Springfield, Ohio. So somebody is lying. Now, I want you to listen to an audio call. This is a 911 call made by a Springfield, Ohio citizen, a resident, just last month. Now, you tell me, who's telling the truth here? Roll cut to Mike.
Clark County Communications. Yes, ma'am. I got a question. This is a non-emergency line, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm sitting here. I'm riding on the trail going to my orientation for my job today, and I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hand. They got away. I couldn't make out the first 3 of the license plate, but I got the numbers. The last numbers was 9898, and it was a gray Toyota Tacoma they took off on. There was about 4 of them. There was 2 men, 2 women. I couldn't tell the age because I'm in a hurry going to this orientation, so I don't be late.
So he's given her specific information. Okay, even partial plates. I mean, I don't how much more credible you want this guy to be? Like what? They're making this up? Like this was, by the way, this was what? I think this was 5-6 weeks ago. So, you can't even say, oh, Jeff, they're saying it now after the debate. No, this was over 5-6 weeks ago. So this guy who's looking for a job, as he keeps trying to tell the 911 operator, okay, is going to call out of the blue and just make it up. Say, yeah, there's a Haitian with 2 dead geese. Like, what, he's just going to make it up? Here are the license plates. But there's more. Listen to him. Roll cut 2A. Mike.
What direction did they go?
They went up towards the middle of towards downtown.
Okay, and what path are you on?
Right now, hold on just a second. I'm coming to the intersection of. Give me a second here. It says Water and Warder Street.
Water and Warder. Is that the area you saw them?
Yes. It was about 2 minutes back behind me. I was trying to get my phone out and trying to make it to this orientation on time. I'm time crunching here. And I saw that. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be reported.
So how many geese did they have?
They each had 1.
Okay, so there you go. And I'm sorry, I'm chuckling because he keeps going on about that orientation. I got to make it to the orientation. Anyway, so, she just wants to know about the geese. She doesn't need to know about your employment opportunities here. But the point is, so I can play. Now, there are photos, there are videos, there are images. It's one after another at the park in Springfield, Ohio. Davis Park, if you want to know the name of the park. And you can see the Haitians abducting the ducks and the geese. You can see them. I'm not trying to be graphic. It's all ripping their heads off, snapping their necks, some of them are carrying 2 at a time. So, what, all this is being made up? Everything, yeah? Okay. Here's a montage. These are Springfield, Ohio residents. Okay? This is, we could go on and on. This is one after another, saying they're eating geese, they're eating cats, they're eating ducks, they're roadkill, they're eating whatever they can get their hands on. Roll cut 3, Mike.
Have you heard of pets being abducted?
Yep. Cats are a delicacy in Haiti.
It's not that they're poor and eating them because they don't have other food. It is a delicacy like someone would eat escargot.
And then I heard that stuff on Facebook and I thought, I better watch my dogs.
Well, that wasn't verified. Springfield, Ohio right now is a tinderbox. They're killing cats. They're eating geese. They're crashing cars. One of these is going to light, and it's going to be bad.
Part of that is because in the state of Ohio, you cannot use lethal force to protect property, and pets are considered property.
Are you carrying a firearm now to keep yourself safe? How has that changed?
Yes, I do. I got a couple guns, and I'm not afraid to use them. I was raised at the hills.
Our town is a bomb, especially with the influx of immigrants or whatever you want to say, people. It's a time bomb ready to go off.
Okay. And I'm going to get to that because I think it's very dangerous. And I think the country now is a time bomb ready to go off because I think they're turning America into Springfield. But let me hold off on that for a second. Now, you heard one of the people interviewed saying, in Haiti, eating cat is considered a delicacy. Now, the idiot liberals, to show you how, they all claim to be tolerant and compassionate and have respect for diversity, just how backward and provincial and unworldly they are. They always claim to be so multicultural, so open-minded, so cosmopolitan. They know nothing about the world. That's what's shocking. The Haitian Report, okay? One of the leading publications on Haiti. One of the most respected publications on Haiti. This is in one of their recent issues. Quote, one of the most frequently asked questions of Haitians in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and in professional settings. Do Haitians eat cats? Now, this was, by the way, several years ago when this issue was published, okay? Quote, unfortunately, many Haitians feel uncomfortable answering this question. However, we at the Haitian Report, yes, this is why we're going to have to spill the beans and let you in on this little secret. And the publication explains that some Haitians, remember I said this a couple days ago, especially those from the countryside, as I put it, the hinterland, consider cat meat a delicacy. And in fact, they really love it during specific festivities, what they call réveillon, which is a French term that means to wake up. And they do réveillon on December 24th, the day before Christmas Eve. And so it's a large meal. Réveillon means like wake up, and it really refers to this large meal, big party that takes place in Haiti on Christmas Eve. And one of the things they love to eat during Réveillon is cat meat. It's considered like, I don't know what, like caviar. It's considered like a huge treat, a real delicacy. Now, here's what the publication said. Quote, I'm quoting directly now. This is the Haitian Report, for God's sake. Contrary to popular beliefs, Haitians don't eat cats because they are poor and hungry. They eat cats because it's a tradition. The practice of eating cats in Haiti is not a new habit, but an old tradition started at the time of slavery centuries ago. So the practice of eating cat is just as old as Haiti herself. Yes, Haitians eat cows, goats, sheep, chickens, pork, beef, etc. But cat meat is a delicacy that many from the countryside simply can't resist. So, look, to understand it in the Haitian context, having a réveillon or another big party without a cat is like celebrating Thanksgiving without a turkey. Unless you are a vegetarian, some just have to have it. So the question is asked, why do so many Haitians eat cat? Again, it's an old tradition. So don't tell me Haitians don't eat cats. Don't stand there and tell me it's racist. Like these idiots on social media or in the media. It's not racism. It's truth. They eat them in Haiti. And yes, Haitians eat them here in the United States. And that's what the residents are calling out in Springfield.
Can we just cut through to what it is? It's not about the media not reporting on immigration. This is something that is racist. This is a racist meme. The reason why we are covering the memes isn't because we're covering the underlying allegation about immigration. What we are covering are
Republican public officials lying,
but lying also suggesting that people of color are eating your pets. That's That's racism.
I mean, these are idiots. That's CNN. That's Dana Bash and Jake Tapper, fake Tapper. 8:49 on the great WRKO, Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. First of all, who's saying that people of color are going around eating cats and dogs? Notice it went from Haitians who were imported into this country in the last 3 years, illegally, may I add. There's no assimilation. There's no vetting. There's no nothing. So we're talking about people from one country with a distinct particular culture when it comes to eating cats and basically wildlife. And all of a sudden now it's all people of color. It's African Americans, it's Arab Americans, it's Asian Americans, it's Latinos, it's racist. Okay. Listen now. Here's a black man. Okay, you want to talk about and because these Dems are obsessed with skin color, okay? A very dark black man. Okay, if you really want to get into it there, and you love your little skin pigmentation. You love it, you guys. Okay, you libs. So, here is an African-American black man. He is at the city commission hearing. It was one after another, after another, after another. They're lining up outside the door. It's sad. Honestly, this should not be happening to any American town, any American citizen. They're begging for something to be done. So, his name is Anthony Harris. He's, I believe, either a 28 or a 29-year-old African-American man. He's quite active in the community. He's very angry what these Haitian migrants that have been dumped, 20,000 of them in the last 3 years, have done to his city that he grew up in, born in, raised in. Listen to him. So, is he a racist now? A black man is a racist for pointing out what the Haitian migrants are doing? Listen now to Anthony Harris. Roll cut 4. Mike.
I know a single mom that FaceTimed me tonight, FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them like.
And then later he's like, he's making this plea, calm down, open your eyes. Stop being willfully blind. Stop looking the other way or playing dumb and pretending it's not happening when everybody knows it's happening. Now, lines are jammed. I'm going to go right to the phone lines. I just want to read this one text. And I think this one text, and by the way, completely right. Like not 100, as I like to say, 1,000% correct. You can text us 70470, 70470. This is from 802. Jeff, there is a long video clip of the police arresting a Haitian woman in Springfield who was witnessed eating a cat. The police were asking the witnesses if they saw the Haitian woman commit the crime. They all explained loudly and with great frustration, yes, that's why we called 911, 911. 911, as some of these idiot Democrats call it. It's 911. That's why we called 911. That's why we called you. Do you understand that? Now, what is clear is that the police are under tremendous pressure by that politically correct idiot mayor and that idiot rhino governor in Ohio, Mike DeWine, that clown, to downplay and try to sweep under the rug what has been happening to that town over the last 3 years. And that's why the police are playing stupid. Did you all witness this? Really? You sure you witnessed it? Look at her. The cat's in her mouth, for God's sake. That's why we called you. The people of Springfield have been betrayed. There's no other word for it. And I'm going to get to this in greater detail. The town overwhelmed. Hospitals overrun. Clinics overrun. The school overrun. Housing overrun. The residents overrun. 8 to 10 accidents a day. They are giving drivers temporary driving permits to these Haitian migrants who don't know how to drive. Many of them, remember, they're coming from one of the poorest countries in the world. Many of them have never touched a car before. You think everybody's driving hey, you dumb liberals. You think everybody's driving a car in Haiti? Duh. Maybe we should have them drive a Prius, Jeff. Or a Tesla. Yeah, good for the environment. Most Haitians have never driven a car. They walk. If you're lucky, a moped, a motorcycle, a bike. They don't know our laws, our road laws. They don't know our language. They're bringing them in. They know not a word of English. And they're just putting them on the roads. By the way, illegally. 8 to 10 accidents a day. It's a freaking it's a war zone in Springfield. The residents are testifying. I can play you the cuts. We're afraid to walk in parking lots. Why? Because you're going to get run over. We're afraid to drive on the street, to just go to the bank or go to the grocery store or whatever. Collisions everywhere. Accidents at intersections. Cars being flipped because they're driving so recklessly. Let's not talk about the crime, the assaults, the burglaries, the rapes. Okay, let's not talk about any of that. So, believe it or not, the ducks and the geese and the cats is the least of their problems. This is the Hunter Biden laptop all over again. They lied about Hunter Biden's laptop to try to get Joe Biden into the White House. And they're lying about Springfield to our faces in order to try to get Kamala into the White House. This is her border. This is her her border invasion. The temporary protected status given to all of these Haitians, that's directly on her. She bragged about it. She said, we're bringing in hundreds of thousands of these Haitians and we're going to resettle them wherever the hell we want. This is right at her feet and the media knows it. And that's why, just like they lied about the Hunter Biden laptop, they're lying now. When the evidence is in front of everybody's face. Meow. Meow. 617-266-6868. And I'm telling you, I got more cuts. Residents are saying cats are disappearing everywhere. My advice, if you're listening to this show and you're in Springfield and you have a cat, a pet cat, don't let that cat out of your house. You let that cat out of your house, that cat's a goner. 617-266-6868. Rob in Milton. You're going to start us off, Rob. Thanks for holding and welcome.
Jeff. I'm in the kitty litter box business now. Hey, so Jeff, Jeff, as you know, I won my primary. I face off with open border Steve Lynch. So if your audience is interested, give Steve a call at 617-428-2000 and ask him why he's not debating me, why he's running away from me. And the other thing is this, when I'm out here, Jeff, all the time, and I run into people of color, whether they drive by me with a closed Ford or Burke sign, they're all thumbs up. They're pissed. They go back to Hillary Clinton, which that person set their country on fire with that telephone deal. and screwed up everything in Haiti. Okay, so if they want to blame somebody, blame Hillary Clinton. So, anyways, Mike DeWine, obviously he's a rhino, he's a never Trumper, so that's why he's doing what he's got to do. So, anyways, Jeff, close border Burke. Here's what I'm going to do, people in the 8th congressional district. Someone who you can vote for. I'm going to close that border. I'm going to seal that border. I'm going to detain all the illegals. I'm going to deport them, and then I'm going to give you a tax cut.
Rob, I'd vote for you, buddy. I mean, if I lived in your district, I'd vote for you. I'll tell you that right now. Rob, thank you very, very much for that call. I really appreciate it. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, who do you want me to go to next, Mike? Mel in New York. Thanks for holding, Mel, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure, Mel.
You know what? Thank you. What I see is happening out in Springfield is that you got these people coming in from different parts of the world. I'll just specify the Haitians. What they do in those parks, to say when they capture these ducks, these geese, and they take the heads off, take them home, whatever, and they cook them. But the time that they're doing that, you got children in that park, and like you always say, and what we say, you can't unsee what you've seen. Now, what's that do? What does that do to regular American, African, Black Americans here in this country who were born and raised here, know the custom, know how we live? We don't do things like that, but those kids now see that image, and now we're stereotyped, basically, to say, by, once they grow up with that, with that image of black people taking animals such as that, doing things like that to them, how are they going to forget that? Now, they look at me as an American, born and raised here. Now, I fall into that same category in their mind. So it's kind of like, embarrassing. It's very, very embarrassing to us. Disrespectful, basically. That, they're embarrassing us, the American, our image, Black Americans here. Like I said, they can't unsee that, those kids. A child's mind, it's very impressionable. So that's what I got to basically now. I got to think of myself and my grandkids and all my brothers and sisters. As far as I'm not talking about my immediate family. When I say brothers and sisters, I mean I'm not categorizing everyone else who's black in America as that. But the fact is that a child's mind, you can't unsee that. Now I gotta live with that now. You know what I mean, Jeff?
Well, Mel, look, you're making a very interesting point. I never looked at it that way, but it's a really interesting angle. And look, Mel, all I can just say is this. If you look at the city commission or city hall meetings on this, there are whites there. No question. There were, white Americans. But Black Americans are really leading the charge against these migrants for exactly the reasons that you're saying this is destroying our town. It's destroying Springfield, our quality of life, our neighborhoods, our homes, our streets, our parks. They're very angry. And they're saying, why did you bring these Haitians in? You never even asked us. We never had a vote. They were brought in the dead of night. And you just kept bringing them in and bringing them in and bringing them in. And then when we complain, we're xenophobic. See, they can't call blacks racist on this because, blacks and Haitians have the same skin color. So they're calling the African Americans, Black Americans in Ohio, they're calling them xenophobic. That's the term they like to use. Well, you're just being, fear of outsiders. You're being xenophobic. It's like, I'm not being xenophobic. I'm just telling you it's wrong to bring in people who run you over on the streets and are snapping the heads off of ducks and are eating cats and squirrels and raccoons. And look, Mel, the dirty secret, and there was a Haitian immigrant woman. Her father was Haitian. She was born in America, but her father came from Haiti. And Elon Musk has really sent this social video. It's gone, I think 50 million people have already seen it. She said, Haitians, or again, some Haitians practice voodoo. They just do. That's a fact. That's a fact. It's not racism. It's a fact. And she says, look, do I think it's demonic? You better believe it. But she says, my point is, the reason why a lot of these animals are disappearing is because they're thrown in as sacrifices to these spirits, to these so-called evil gods that they, when they do their black magic. So she said, that's another reason why Haitians will snatch up animals. So she's saying, look, it's part of Haitian culture in Haiti. Now, when you come to America, you're supposed to leave that behind. And I think, honestly, Mel, I think it's time for the Haitian community in the United States, the legal Haitian community, to come out and say, it's happening, it's disgusting, they do it in the old country, we don't do that here. I mean, enough. Instead, they're trying to insist that it's even racist to discuss it, and they're trying to browbeat the people of Springfield, Ohio, into not speaking out about what's happening in their town. Just like they tried to browbeat us in 2020 by claiming you're a Russian collaborator and a Putin lover if you point out that Hunter Biden's laptop is real. It's the exact same thing. And mark my words, Mel, those residents will be vindicated. There's no question. Just like we were vindicated over the Hunter Biden laptop. But I just hope it's not after the election. Mel, thank you very much for that call. 617-266-6868. As I said in my post on X yesterday, it's not racism. It's truth. That's all this is. There's nothing racist about truth. Truth is not racist. Do Haitians eat cats? Yes. Do some Haitians consider it a delicacy? Yes. Are cats flying out? Are they disappearing all across Springfield? Yes. Do we have footage of Haitians being arrested eating cats? Yes. Do we have footage and video? And I don't mean one picture or two pictures. It's how much evidence do you need after a while? Grabbing geese and ducks, snapping their heads off and taking them home to, I don't know what they do with them. Eat them, sacrifice them, whatever they do. What are we talking about? The question should be, why did Kamala Harris dump 20,000 illegals or Haitian migrants into that community? How the hell can a working class town of 40,000 handle 20,000 migrants in 3 years? Hey, look, I can't stand Mike DeWine. He's a never-Trumper. He's an anti-Trump Republican. I know. But even Mike DeWine at his press conference said, this is unprecedented. He goes, the numbers that they're dealing with in Springfield, it's absolutely unprecedented. He goes, I've never seen this. They literally increased the size of a town by 1/3, 40,000 to 60,000. And that third was all done in 3 years from Haiti, with nobody ever being asked. The residents weren't asked. The voters weren't asked. Nobody was asked. They just dumped them in. Here's Ohio Governor Mike DeWine at his press conference. Roll cut 11. Mike.
I want to talk this afternoon about the situation with the Haitian immigrants in the city of Springfield, Ohio. I know there's been a lot of talk and discussion, particularly over the last few days. I want to set out what the essential facts are. Springfield, Ohio is a community of approximately 58,000 people. Over the last several years, this city has received immigrants somewhere in the neighborhood of 15,000 new immigrants, new residents. I don't think anyone's sure of the exact number. That obviously represents a massive increase based upon percentage of the population in Springfield. It is unprecedented in such a short period of time.
This guy's a moron. I'm telling you. I mean, this guy, seriously. How the people of Ohio keep reelecting this guy is beyond me, but let that go. You think, Mikey, really, huh? 20,000 in 3 years? It's unprecedented? That's a lot in such a short period of time? No, Mikey, you're kidding. And what did you do about it, Governor DeWine? What did you do about it? Did you fight the Biden and Harris regime? No. Did you make holy hell? No. In fact, only now, when Ohio Springfield, thanks to Trump, is in the national spotlight at that very same presser yesterday, which begs the question, if there's no crisis in Springfield, if everything is fine, there's no problem. It's racist to even say there's a problem. Why did Mike DeWine now order an extra $2.5 million in aid? He's going to pour money now into Springfield, and he's now ordering an army of state police troopers to go in there because there are so many freaking accidents by these Haitian illegals. So he's going to surge police now into Springfield, and he's going to pour millions of dollars in aid. But he's telling us, but the media is telling us, what crisis? What crisis? Problems? What problems? It's unbelievable. So I want to ask you, what do you make of what is happening in Springfield, Ohio? Do you believe the Haitian migrants are eating cats and ducks and geese? And is Donald Trump a racist for having mentioned this at the debate, and he mentioned it again at his rally in Arizona? Is Trump a racist? Your calls next. No, really, Mike, why don't you just, like I said, wrap me on the knuckles there? Why don't you send me to the naughty corner, Mike? Send me to the principal's office, Mike. Boy, oh boy, let's just say this is incredible. So apparently, by the way, 7:20 here on the great WRKO. Apparently, I stand corrected. I thought I was fairly good at math, but apparently Kuhner Country is even better at math than I am. So Mike is just relaying to me that many of you have been calling in and texting, obviously, 70470, that my math is off. That it's not a 33% increase or a 1/3 increase. It's actually a 50% increase in Springfield. Why? Because they started at 40,000 3 years ago, and then you bring in 20,000. So 20,000 is half of 40,000. So it's a 50% increase. They went from 40,000 to 60,000. And that's what now Sandy's in my ear saying you should have run your numbers by Ashton or Ava, because they would have gotten it right. This is the kind of verbal abuse I take on a regular basis here. 617-266-6868. Okay, my point, okay? My point is, it went from 40 to 60. That's my point, all right? And you're right. Actually, it is 50%. That's a ton, man. That's, we're not talking 40 to 45, 40 to 48, which would still be a lot. We're talking 40 to 60 in 3 years. Ay. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay. Is Trump a racist for pointing out what's happening in Springfield, Ohio? The media, Democrats, Kamala are saying absolutely, and he now needs to really be repudiated for it. But the citizens of Springfield say otherwise. What say you? 617-266-6868 is the number. Jack in Indiana. Thanks for holding, Jack, and welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. First of all, I want to say there are police reports that what's happening in Springfield is true. And second of all, I am so disappointed in you and Grace because you fell into the left. You criticized Trump for his debate. I don't know what debate you were watching, but I didn't see no anger. I saw passion. And I just want you to explain yourself.
I mean, explain myself how, Jack?
Why? Where do you think he was angry? He was up against 3 liberals. He was defending himself. He wasn't angry. He was passionate.
No, he was angry, Jack. They got under his skin. They baited him. Look, I talked about this yesterday. If I was in his shoes, I would be very upset as well. And it was an ambush. And I think that's one of the major reasons why Trump ended up winning the debate. If you go by all the reaction in the polls. And the key one are voters. Undecided voters, as I said on yesterday's show, 2-1 now say that Trump won and they're going to vote for Trump. And I think part of it was because it was so blatantly unfair. No, look, Jack, my criticism of Trump, and it still stands, is I think she gave him so many opportunities, so many openings, he could have knocked her out. This election could have been over Tuesday night. And he just let opportunity after opportunity after opportunity go by. Now, you know, I didn't say that the debate was a disaster. It wasn't. Obviously, he ended up winning it. But it wasn't his best debate. I've seen all of Trump's debates. I think he had much better debates before. He went into a trap. It wasn't like CNN with him and Joe Biden. It was a naked ambush. And they went after him, and that was their goal. Their goal was to frustrate him, fluster him, get under his skin, attack him viciously, and she was vicious. And he lost his cool at times. I think there's no question. But in the end, it backfired on him because he won. But no, look, Jack, I'll tell you right now, the election, this thing could have been over in the first minute. When she dodged the question about whether you are better off now or 4 years ago, and she wouldn't answer. Not that Trump gave a bad opening statement. It was very good. But it was a good shot. But it could have been a knockout. All he had to do was say, she dodged your question. She dodged your question because you are worse. And here's why you're worse. Your groceries are up 30%. Energy bill up 50%. Car insurance 60%. All he had to do was just literally tell them, this is what you're paying more. I lowered everything in the past. I'll do it again. It's over. The debate is over. All he had to do was say 2 things all night, over and over and over. They could spit in his face. They could insult his mother. They could insult his wife. All he had to do, Jack, was say 2 things over and over again. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Because you're clearly not. And I can fix it because I did it already. You want cheap gas? I did it. You want cheap grocery prices? I did it. You want low inflation? I did it. You want a booming economy? I did it. You want a secure border? I did it. You want peace in Ukraine? You want peace in the Middle East? I did it. She can't answer that. She can't. And then the second point, which is what he finally did at the end, and I think that's what really salvaged the debate for him, was when he said, well, you're complaining about everything, so why don't you fix it? You had 3.5 years to fix it. Inflation? Fix it. The economy? Fix it. The border? Hell, you're where the borders are. Fix it. But you didn't, because you caused all the problems. Checkmate. Those 2 things. Now, this is not hard. Those 2 things, had he just repeated every single answer, every single segment, over and over and over again, he would be up 10 points in the battleground states. Jack, this election is over. Finito. Put it to bed. So that's my criticism of Trump. I think he had a huge opportunity and he missed it. Now, I don't know if you heard, he did manage to win the debate. He got about a 2% bump in the polls, which in these battleground states is going to be key. And so now he has come out and said that he's no longer going to do a third debate. There will be no third debate. They had one scheduled September 25th on NBC. She wanted to move it to October. And Trump came out and said, that's it. I'm tired of your games. There will be no debate. None. In other words, and the reason why is he won. Yeah, in fact, it's the poll question, so I'll even give it out now. But, Jack, just to finish my answer, he won. He got a bump. She didn't. He did. He's now got a bit of a lead in the battleground states. And he's like, I'm the front runner. I don't need to do this. So, no, I'm not playing your game anymore. No more debates, period. There'll be one more, J.D. Vance and Tim Walz, October 1st, which I think J.D. will destroy. It'll be a masterclass on how to debate. But Trump is saying, I'm done with debates. We had two, one with Biden, one with her. What's the point? Especially if the moderators are going to rig it against me. So, Jack, this is where we stand. So, I mean, I don't know what you're disappointed in. I just gave you my honest analysis. You can disagree with it. Did we lose Jack? Okay. Jack, thank you very much for that call. How much time left, Mike? All right. I'm going to come back, give out the poll question of the day. I'd love to get everybody's input and continue to take your calls. Bye. 7:34 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, it is the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Mario's. Mario's quality roofing, siding, and windows. Donald Trump now has said he is not going to do any more debates with Kamala Harris. No more. The one on Tuesday was the last one. Do you think it's a good move? Do you agree with Trump's decision to say no more or to do no more debates? A, yes. B, no. You can vote on our webpage, wrko.com/Kuhner, wrko.com/Kuhner, Kuh, and as a national ER. You can also vote via X. As I said, I'm always active on X now. My handle there, at the Kuhner Report, all one word, at the Kuhner Report, Kuh, and as a national ER. I'm a yes all the way. I think it's a very good move. After what ABC did to him, I think it's beyond disgusting. And NBC will be no different. CBS will be no different. Kamala doesn't want to do a debate on Fox. And frankly, I'm not even that trusting of Fox, but they would be a little better than these blatantly liberal Democrat media outlets. But you know what? We've seen enough. I mean, at this point, we know what Trump stands for, and Kamala Harris, to me, she speaks for herself. I mean, her campaign, her vacuousness, the fact that she's such an obvious fraud and charlatan, that she is a radical leftist to the core, I think all of this speaks for itself. So really, to me, the choice is very simple. Do you want freedom or do you want communism? I've never seen a clearer, starker choice in my entire life. We don't need any more debates. But that's me. I want to hear from you. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, let's go to Arthur in Chestnut Hill. Thanks for holding, Arthur, and welcome.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, I would agree to another debate only on Newsmax and Newsmax only. And it would give him a chance to turn around and point out something that I haven't seen in my lifetime that I've always been praying for. An end to the tax on overtime. An end to the tax on Social Security. And then, of course, he did ending the tax on tips. These are three of the most incredible things that anybody's ever done for the American people and the American working man, and it'll give him a chance to showcase it, which he should have been able, if he had come in prepared for the last debate, to come in this time and say, okay, now tell me if these are taxes on the rich, and at the same time he could turn around and hold his temper and just stay to the issues, okay, and I think he would better serve the people, and he owes it to Newsmax because Newsmax is the best station for us that's out there, and if she refuses, well, then she refuses. But the fact is, he went and took his punishment on her station of the choice, and he could say the same thing. And I hope one day, for a guy who's supposed to be as smart as he is, but never learns, not to fall into those traps. When she started in with the size of his rallies, I would have said, I didn't come here to talk about rallies. I came here to talk about what's important to the people of this country, and that is their safety, and what they have to pay at the pump, what they have to pay at the supermarket, and the fact that we've been overrun by criminals. People aren't even safe in their homes. That's what we came here to talk about. I mean, how hard would that have been instead of the crap that he couldn't put two sentences together? I love the man, but you know what? There's no question he didn't come prepared for that debate.
Look, Arthur, I think now you're right. I mean, I completely agree with you, but I think now it's water under the bridge at this point because it wasn't the disaster that many feared for Trump. It now looks like, in fact, he actually got a slight lead or got a slight increase or a bounce in the polls. He gained some ground. If you look at just some of the immediate post-debate polling, and Kamala's people now are very worried. Look, Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, came out and said if the election was held today, Kamala Harris would lose Pennsylvania. And if you lose Pennsylvania, I think that's the ball game. That's going to be the key state, the key battleground state. So, look, I agree with you. I don't think he was prepared. I think he could have done much better. I love his proposal now to not tax overtime. It's brilliant, genius. And of course, don't tax Social Security and no tax on tips. But that no taxing overtime, brilliant, genius. And so, to me, that's what he really should have come out with in that debate, instead of the tit for tat with Kamala Harris. And that's what the Harris and the ABC people wanted. But in the end, thank the Lord, it didn't work. So, look, she would never agree. I agree with you. I would prefer it on Newsmax. But honestly, Arthur, she won't agree to Fox News. Never mind Newsmax. She would never in a million years do an interview on Newsmax. She has to have... Sorry, one last point, Arthur. I'll come right back to you. She needs bodyguards. She can't do an interview without Tim Walz holding her hand. She can't do a debate without two moderators basically being her wingmen. So, Arthur, she can't stand up on her own 2 feet. She'll never do a debate on Fox or Newsmax. Go ahead.
Well. But the point of it is that he can accept her proposal of a second of debate, but then turn around and say, "Well, listen, you had it on the station of your choice. Now I'd like to have it on another station." I
agree.
That never gets a debate. To be fair, and just it's called calling a bluff. Okay, and once he says that, then where are they going to go? It puts them in a corner. It puts them on the defensive right now by keep calling for another debate, and he doesn't want to have it.
Yeah, it almost makes it look like he's afraid to debate her. No, I hear you. Look, I would call her bluff. I think it's a great idea. Say, I'll tell you what, no, we did it on your turf. Now you're going to do it on my turf. Agree, disagree. 749 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, lines are jammed. I'm going to go right to the phone lines. You can also text us 70470, 70470. This is an absolute doozy. 781, Jeff, I call it code blue. What the ruling elite are doing with the flights, dropping migrants off all over America, it is obvious. What the leftists are doing in Springfield, they want to make sure that swing states like Ohio are flooded with new voters. You can argue that they aren't eligible to vote, but then you'll be labeled a racist, xenophobic Nazi. Bingo. Well, that's why Kamala selected Springfield, working class, red town, MAGA. Frankly, it's MAGA country in a red county, because now it's time to start diluting these key states like Ohio. And you just carpet bomb them with illegals. Flood them with illegals. And the consequences be damned. 617-266-6868. Here's one more. This is from 602. Jeff, the media will continue this charade regarding Springfield until so much evidence comes out from the public in Springfield that it can no longer be denied. At that point, the media will pivot and change their narrative to, quote, well, this is part of the Haitian culture and Americans need to respect it, or they're being racist, unquote. Now, Jeff, just to take this one step further, I can send you graphic video of cannibalism taking place on the streets of Haiti because the videos are out there. Would we have to start respecting that too? Because it's now become part of their quote-unquote culture? I mean, how far do we let this go? Look, we don't have to let it go anywhere past eating pets and eating ducks and geese from ponds. And by the way, residents now, conservationists in Springfield, have come out and said that the duck and geese population have been completely decimated in Springfield. And they're all saying because the migrants killed them all. Abducted them, kidnapped them, grabbed them, whatever term you want to use, and ate them. So, I'm sorry. The facts are the facts are the facts. Agree, disagree, and the question we have to ask ourselves is, why are we importing the third world into the United States? And why can't we just as a country be honest? And say, if you're going to bring in the third world, which we shouldn't, but let that go, you don't just let illegals pour into your country. At a very bare minimum, we're a civilized country, or at least we were a civilized country. Well, you have to live by our laws, our rules, our customs, our traditions, our culture. You want to do voodoo. You want to eat cat meat. You want to, eat roadkill. You want to, whatever. You want to start ripping the heads off of ducks and geese at ponds and taking them home. Do it in Haiti. I'm not asking Haitians to change. Honestly, I'm not. I've said this many times before. I am not a liberal Democrat or a neoconservative. I am not a cultural imperialist. I'm not. Liberals and neocons are cultural imperialists. They want to remake the world in their image. I don't. If the Haitian people want to eat cat meat, that's their right. I'm not going to go to Haiti and tell them what they should eat or not eat. But here in America, I'm not asking Haiti to change. But don't ask America to change. Here, it is barbaric. It is uncivilized. We don't eat cats. We don't eat pets. And when you go to a public park with a pond, you leave the ducks and the geese alone. You want to buy duck at the supermarket? That's okay. But the ducks and the geese at a public pond are for the people who pay the taxes and the kids to watch and enjoy and take pictures of. And watch them go quack, 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 quack. That's what they are. They're not there for you to, it's not time for you to go hunting and just grab them and eat them and then sacrifice them or whatever you do with them. And I'm sorry, but in this country, we have something called a grocery store. You want to get food? Go to the grocery store and buy food. I don't want to live in a country where people are walking around with dead animals because they stole them from some pond with the necks broken off and they're, here, look what I got. Oh, look at this. Look, right there in the middle of the park. Okay? I don't want to live in that kind of country. I know they do that in the third world, but that's their business. Here, we don't do that. 617-266-6868. You want to call me a racist? I wear that as a badge of honor when it comes to this issue. I'm not going to abandon civilized standards just to placate the Democratic Party and the liars in the media. And by the way, do your jobs. Instead of taking the word of a press release from some hack at City Hall in Springfield, well, we spoke to the mayor, and he says these reports are all unconfirmed. Why don't you send a reporter, like, they used to do, and actually see the facts for yourself? Do some reporting. Talk to the residents, Go to the pond. Walk the streets. Look at the witnesses. Talk to them. Look at the pictures. Look at the videos. Talk to the people on the ground. Instead of just, oh, yeah, it's not true? Yeah, okay. And how much money are you getting from all these migrants coming in? Oh, really? Oh, boy, big financial incentive. But, oh yeah, it's not happening? Okay, we'll take your word for it. Duh. And just blindly accept it. Donald Trump is right. And I'm telling you, just as we were right about the Hunter Biden laptop, we're going to be proven right about Springfield. Enough is enough. You import the third world, you become the third world. Just ask Springfield, Ohio. John in Dunstable. Thanks for holding, John, and welcome.
Call. It just so happens, Jeff, that I know a guy that lives in Springfield, Ohio. He's originally from Lynn. He's not white. He's Puerto Rican. I used to chum around with him. Golden Glove boxer, and he's not a wuss. He told me the other night when he called me. Actually, he asked me if I could loan him one of his dogs, one of my dogs, I mean, for him to take. He said the crime is out of control. He says they're preying on elderly people. The animals are getting decimated. He said that he said that the sickness. He says a lot of them. This is what he told me. A lot of them have AIDS and other diseases, and he said it's really bad. And he wanted one of my dogs for protection because my dogs are very protective. And I'm not going to let him borrow one, but I said I'm probably going to need him here. But that's what's going on in Springfield, Ohio, Jeff. And I just like to talk to Arthur. I really like Arthur, and I've praised Arthur, if you can remember, in the past. But you got to listen, Arthur. Trump got everybody in the country talking about the worst thing that's happened to our country. which is the invasion of illegal aliens. That's what's going on now. And that's the key topic of what's happening in our country is this invasion. And the guy's a master. I actually think he did this on purpose, Jeff, just to get this out. I mean, you saw Sawwell, the traitor commie on the news, all practically crying over the picture that Trump had with the ducks and the cats. I mean, I think the guy's a genius. I mean, this is going to expose her and that coward Waltz for what they really are, Jeff, and Biden, of course. So that's my opinion, Jeff. I don't know. What do you say?
Well, look, his greatest strength, and I think that's why he's a force of nature, and I believe he's going to win the White House. I think he's going to win the election, and he's going to come back, is that he speaks the truth. He is not afraid to speak the truth. And I think that's his greatest weapon. And that's what he has done now for, 8, 9 consecutive years. And when you have the truth, I always say this, speak it. No matter what, speak it loud, speak it proud, be very clear. Do not ever, ever flinch. And they viciously attacked him at the debate. They mocked him. Kamala Harris laughed in his face. They're trying to embarrass him. They're trying to humiliate him. And he's going to be vindicated because the evidence is so overwhelming. He spoke the truth. And he had the courage and the guts to speak the truth. And honestly, I think that's his he's got great qualities. I'm not saying it's the only quality he has. He has many, many other outstanding qualities. But I think that's his most outstanding quality. His greatest quality is his courage to speak the truth. I think it's what propelled him in the White House in 2016. I think it's why he won 2020 and they had to steal it from him. And I think it's now why, despite the immense odds against him, and let's not kid ourselves, when he wins in November, it will be the greatest political comeback. It'll be a miracle. If not in American history, if not human history. And that's a remarkable achievement. We are watching history. There are going to be textbooks about this. I can't tell you how many books will be written about this hundreds of years from now. This man is on the verge of doing the impossible. And that's simply because of his commitment and determination to speak the truth no matter what. 8 o'clock, Kuhner's Call Log, Caller of the Week.
It's time for Kuhner's Call Log, where we showcase our favorite caller from the week.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Thanks for holding, Rob.
A couple things. One is what really got on my nerves and spoke volumes to me was her whining, especially the last 2/3 of the debate. She was whining like a wronged 5-year-old. That's a sign of weakness and immaturity, like there is no tomorrow. When she talks and she argues, she whines. That is so unpresidential. I hope some of the country picked up on that, because I don't think most of this country is going to pick up on the blatant lies and the lack of the fact-checking on ABC. Her behavior was immature, especially to my second point, Springfield, Ohio. When he brought up Springfield, Ohio, she laughed as if it were a quaint little hoax that doesn't exist. And that's the way the media is treating it.
Be here every weekday on the Kuhner Report between 6 and 10 a.m. And next week, it could be you on Kuhner's Call Log.
Please, don't be a stranger. Call again. Best audience in the business. I'm telling you, absolutely best audience in the business. I know I say this all the time, but it's true. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Okay, lines are jammed. Listen now to J.D. Vance. Yes, he's Trump's vice presidential nominee. And as I said yesterday, and I want to repeat it, he's doing a magnificent job. He is killing it on the campaign trail. But of course, he's also a senator from Ohio. And he's one of the few MAGA America First conservatives in the Senate. He knows what's happening in Springfield. He was confronted by CNN's Caitlin Collins. And listen now to this exchange. CNN is trying to insist, Springfield, Ohio, it's all been debunked. They're not eating ducks or geese or cats or what are you talking about? And look how J.D. Vance turns the tables on her. It was a masterclass. Roll cut 26, Mike.
This misleading, false claim that you yourself have talked about in recent days about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, abducting people's pets and eating them, which officials there have said is not true. You yourself acknowledged it may be false on Twitter. You still told people to keep spreading it. But Trump just amplified it to tens of millions of people who were watching. Why push something that's not true?
Well, first of all, city officials have not said it's not true. They've said they don't have all the evidence.
They said they have no evidence.
We've heard from a number of constituents on the ground, Caitlin, who both firsthand and secondhand reports saying this stuff is happening. So they very clearly, meaning the people on the ground dealing with this, think that it is happening. And I think that it's important for journalists to actually get on the ground and uncover this stuff for themselves when you have a lot of people saying, my pets are being abducted, or geese at the city pond are being abducted and slaughtered right in front of us. This is crazy stuff.
You think, JD? But that's the point. You're not going to send a reporter. Because if you send a reporter with eyes and ears, you're going to say, hey, it's happening. So just keep regurgitating and parroting the lies. The lies of that city manager hack and that ridiculous governor Mike DeWine. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree. Let's go to Mark in New Hampshire. Thanks for holding, Mark, and welcome.
Jeff.
Mark, how are
doing
you?
Today?
Good, how are you?
Listen, can I say thank you for your service, even though you're not military, fire, or police?
Oh, sure.
You're like the voice of sanity amongst the lunatics, you know?
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
But a couple of things I wanted to say. I heard on, I think it was Fox News, or it was definitely Fox News. I don't know who came out and said it, but it was genius. They can end all the debate crap and the hyper-partisanship if each candidate picks who they want to interview the other candidate. And it was on this week. I don't remember who said it, but that would be perfect. And there could be no bias, right? The other thing I heard that would solve the problem, too, is they said something about a debate on X, which is completely neutral. The main reason why I called, though, is because earlier in the week you had mentioned something about how, cities and how things have gotten so bad. I'm originally from Boston, and I saw a very slow death as I was growing up. And then I eventually had kids, and I eventually moved my family out to New Hampshire, of course. Springfield is just on the fast track. Boston's experienced a slow death, and because of a lot of the same reasons, and Springfield is just, on the fast track. I don't know what to say. It's terrible. I can't believe the stuff that I'm seeing. I can't believe the commercials. I wish I could explain to my kids what things used to be like when I grew up. The world is just on fire.
Mark, they're destroying our country right in front of our eyes. And I played it earlier. I could play it again. It's heartbreaking. This city resident at that city commission hearing where she was born and raised. She talks about, I was born in Springfield. I was raised in Springfield. She goes, I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm not saying, we didn't have our problems. But it was a very safe, proud, in many ways beautiful working class town. You want to know small town Americana in the Midwest? That was Springfield. And we had so much civic pride. And she goes, now I look at the dilapidated buildings, the trash, the litter, the crime, cars flipping over everywhere, people getting run over. She goes, I'm not safe in my own home. I've got 4 Haitian men stalking the house, stalking the neighborhood every single night. People's pets are disappearing. Family and friends are fleeing. They're leaving. The cost of living has exploded. I'm going to get to that a little bit later in this hour, Mark. You're not going to believe what they're doing. They're giving these migrants massive housing vouchers. So they come in, and now the people, the owners of these rental apartments or rental properties are saying, well, why should I charge $775 to an Ohio, Springfield resident when these migrants, because the government's paying for it, you and I, are going to give me a voucher for $1,200. So they're kicking the residents out, and they're replacing them with the Haitian migrants. And they've driven up the cost of housing now so much that now you have people in Springfield, working people in Springfield, who cannot afford to live in an apartment or rent a home or whatever. They're on the streets, Mark. They're on the streets, man. And she says, my family is leaving. My friends are leaving. There's going to be nothing left. And she says, I'm not talking 20, 30, 40 years from now. In the next 3 or 4 years, it's gone. We just obliterated Springfield. And she said, for what? For what? And she looks around, and this is the most heart-wrenching part of all. What did we do? We love our country. We work hard. We pay our taxes. We're very patriotic. Whenever there's a war, we send our children off to war. And this is the thanks we get from our elites? And then when we complain, you say we're a bunch of redneck hicks? And you mock us, and you make fun of us, and you laugh at us, and you call us a bunch of racists? That's why Trump is going to win. Because he speaks for the forgotten American men and women, not just in Springfield, everywhere. 820 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Mike, he's playing Cat Stevens. The cats in Springfield. Cat Stevens. Okay, listen now to YouTuber Tyler Oliveira. It's Oliveira, I think. Tyler Oliveira. So anyway, here's YouTuber, and this is just a montage of him talking to Springfield, Ohio residents. Have you seen Haitians eating cats, ducks, geese? Listen, roll cut 33, Mike.
Cats are getting kidnapped? Is that true?
Yes, my mom actually seen a post on Facebook. There was Haitians in a white van driving around the neighborhoods collecting cats.
For what?
Skinning them and eating them. Snyder Park, our actual park. If a Haitian is caught walking the grounds down there, they can get arrested because they're going down there and they're killing the Canadian geese so they can take them home and eat them.
I wouldn't be surprised because we used to have a lot of cats around here. And especially down here at the end of the street, that lady had probably 50 of them. Now she's lucky to have 5. And the geese down at the park, they're declining. So I don't know if they're eating them too. I guess it's supposed to be their natural habitat or something or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the geese and the ducks, apparently the geese and duck population completely decimated. I mean, they're pretty much gone. They ate them all. I mean, if you can find 1 or 2, but pretty much they ate them all. And now it looks like the cat population is dwindling pretty fast in Springfield, Ohio. Okay, but no, Trump is lying. Or soon it's going to be exactly what one of the texters put it. Well, he wasn't lying, but it's racist to say you shouldn't eat pets. Trust me, it's coming. That's going to be their default position in about 2 weeks. Well, okay, they were eating all the ducks and the geese and, the farm animals and the roadkill. Yeah, and the cats, yes. But hey, it's their tradition, it's their culture. and you're racist if you oppose that. That's about, 10 or 14 days away. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree. Let's go right back to the blazing phone lines. Mike, who do you want me to go to next? Is it Brock or Brooke? Brooks. Okay, Brooks in Florida. Thanks for holding, Brooks, and welcome.
Hey, Jeff. Good morning.
Hi, Brooks.
Okay, just picking up on some of these topics here. In regards to the cats, if we look where all this first developed, it was a police department. It was a local policeman. Mysteriously now this video is gone. And so for David Muir to, start this hit piece on Trump, which, by the way, he did prior to him asking the question, which I found very interesting. It's as if he set him up, to say what he was going to say. And so, anyway, bottom line is that the video from the body cam, that's evidence. Why is it, clearly the mayor or the city council members or the selectmen are putting heat on the local police department. So that needs to be exposed because we have to, as Trump supporters, we have to really, it is imperative that we make honorable, honest relationships with our sheriff's departments and our police departments on so many levels. And this is a huge one. And I get it. The guy's got a paycheck, He's got a 401k. He's got health insurance. But this is a battle of good and evil. So if you're a policeman and you're hearing this in any state, in any town, do the right thing. Others will follow. Others, you have to set an initiative of integrity. The police are the key to this story. Second to that, quickly, 9 mule deer were shot in Cody, Wyoming, by an individual with dreadlocks and, very Haitian-looking. That story is developing as well. And not sure if you saw the Elon Musk video on the voodoo meaning and why the Haitians really invoke voodoo and what it means to them culturally. Elon Musk did a phenomenal piece on...
Oh, no, I saw that. And he had this... It's a Haitian woman. She's an American, a Haitian American. She was born and raised in America, but her father's from Haiti. And she said, look, I know Haitian culture. My father, I lived it. Many of my family members, many of them sacrifice animals for voodoo. She's not saying not all Haitians are into voodoo, but she said many of them are. And she's the one saying, you're crazy to bring in that many into one place so quickly. You're asking for trouble and you're going to get trouble. So it's, and Elon again exposed it. And I want to really give my hats off to him because he's also now getting blasted as a racist. But it doesn't matter. Truth is not racist. I'm sorry. Truth is truth is truth. By the way, I got more. Believe me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Trump is going to be vindicated on this, and he's going to be vindicated big. A lot more to come. Don't touch that dial. 8:31 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, my friends, as many of you are now pointing out on the text line, emailing the Kuhner man, messaging the Kuhner man, we're being replaced. That's what this is. Which Springfield is a microcosm, not just for what's happening in America, but what's happening throughout Europe and the entire Western world. And it is the great replacement. And this is what residents in Springfield, one after another, are saying. They go, it's so obvious. They have dropped so many people, so many of these so-called Haitian migrants, so fast. We are being transformed, demographically transformed, culturally transformed, socially, economically, politically transformed right in front of our eyes. And at an accelerating and massive speed. And if this is not reversed and reversed quickly, Springfield will be no more. The Midwest will be no more. Middle America will be no more. Ultimately, America will be no more. And really, the Western world will be no more. And that is really the great issue of our time. And I just want to read something from Shannon. This is what she sent me on Messenger. And she's completely right. Jeff, remember when the media was reporting that the Haitians were eating their pets? Remember they had that hurricane, whatever, the earthquake, forgive me. And then they had that, they were having so many problems on that island when they were hit with that massive natural disaster. Jeff, remember when the media was reporting the Haitians were eating their pets to survive? So we would feel bad for them and want to help them? Now they're doing it here because they're barbaric. The media now says it's not happening here. Kamala had the nerve to laugh about it and write to Trump's face. We all know what's going on, and Trump is going to win. Amen. Amen. This is, I'm telling you, of all the issues, and there's a lot, I'm not downplaying inflation, cost of living, the economy, crime, the Third World War in Ukraine, Third World War between Iran and Israel. Please, I'm not downplaying any of that. Okay, energy independence, the price of gas, it's all huge. But this issue, the great replacement, this wide open border, this invasion, is what's going to catapult Trump right into the White House. Springfield, Ohio, please, you need to hear this, has now become a war zone. It's a combat zone. Those aren't my words. Those are the words now of the residents who live in Springfield. And in fact, according now to the residents, there are 8 to 10 accidents a day. And what the residents are saying is forget about the ducks and the geese disappearing from the public parks. They go, that's disgusting. The real issue is that the city is now under siege. And one of the ways they're under siege is by wild driving Haitian migrants who don't know U.S. road laws, who can't speak the language, and they're turning the streets into combat zones. And they're now documenting, videotaping, it's all being photographing. It's all. There's no way you can lie about this. I'm talking massive accidents at intersections, cars slamming into buildings, cars going the opposite way on one-way streets, people getting hit in their garages. They're flying into people's garages, flying into people's homes. They go, it's a war zone out here. Now, listen to this. Kathy Heaton was a grandmother. Springfield, Ohio. That was her hometown. She had grandkids, 2 twins that she loved and adored. On December 1st, last year, a day after her 71st birthday, they came to her home. They celebrated her 71st birthday with Grandma. She got up a little bit earlier than usual, 5:45 in the morning, 5:45 a.m. She was awakened by the garbage truck collecting garbage cans. They're picking up the trash. So she went out on the corner after she heard the truck to go and collect her garbage cans after the trash pickup. Out of the blue, a Haitian migrant was driving like a madman. He was driving down that side street like it was a rocket. He hit Kathy Heaton. He struck her so violently that both her socks were left behind on the pavement as her body was thrown across the entire street. Clumps of hair were found in the car's cracked windshield. He killed her on the spot. As I said, he hit her so freaking hard that the woman flew across the entire street. It was a massacre. It was a massacre. Her daughter-in-law is in tears, speaking out in an interview to the New York Post, saying, I'm shattered. My husband, her son, is shattered. My twin sons, her grandkids, shattered. Nana, they miss their Nana. She's dead. And she says what angers us the most is that this was done by a person who never should have been here in the first place. But listen to this. As I keep telling you, you don't need a cappuccino or an espresso or coffee in the morning. I'm your cappuccino. I'm your coffee in the morning. I'll get you. Believe me, I'll wake you up. That murderer got off scot-free. To the family's horror and disgust, they never even filed charges against this reckless, wild driving. According to the prosecutors, there's nothing we can prosecute him for. He ran over an old lady on the road, for God's sake. What on the road? On the sidewalk. She was on the sidewalk collecting her trash cans after the garbage truck came and collected her trash. That's it. She walked to the sidewalk, grabbed the trash cans, turned around, and then saw the car coming. What? On the sidewalk, flying. I bet he was stoned. I guarantee you this guy was stoned. Okay? Either stoned or drunk as a skunk. He hit her. He plowed into her, and he killed her. And you don't prosecute? Now, the larger point is that this is happening all over Springfield. Residents are being interviewed. They said, you don't understand. They're given temporary driving licenses, yet they don't know the rules of the road. They haven't even passed the driving test. They don't know English. They don't know our laws. Most of them have never driven a car because they're from one of the poorest countries in the world. So what they do is, here's a temporary driver's license and go. And they're like, okay. And then they're given so much freaking cash, thanks to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're buying used cars. Or they're into drugs or drug dealing or criminality or whatever. They steal them. And they're driving around. They're hitting trash cans. They're hitting people. They're hitting buildings. They're smashing into other cars. Cars are being flipped over everywhere. Residents are saying, we go to a grocery store. We walk in the parking lot. We are terrified. We're on the roads. We're terrified. We're terrified. And the question now that the Heaton family has is, so let me get this straight. When my twin sons, when they turn 16, 17, 18, whatever, and it's their turn to get a driver's license in order to drive, how come they have to go through and get a driving permit? They've got to pass a test. They got to do a driving exam. They have to know the laws of the road. But these Haitians don't. So there's one set of rules for the Haitians, the migrants, and a completely different set of rules for the people who live in Springfield. An 11-year-old boy, Aiden Clark, was killed by a Haitian migrant driver. Same thing. Driving unbelievably recklessly on the wrong side of the road, flying. Smashed into the bus. He was on a school bus. The school bus rolled over, and that boy flew out of the window, and he was crushed. You're not going to believe what his father said recently in public. I've got that next. 8:49 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. James in Dorchester. Thanks for holding, James, and welcome.
And hi, good morning to you.
Hi, James.
I want to talk about a little subject you and a caller just made. You said, I know these guys were Haitian because they had dreads. Well, guess what? I'm Jamaican. I have dreads. So that's a real racist, bad statement. Now, let's do the other thing you said I was listening to. I have not seen no reports, no video, no nothing of all what you have been stating out today, if any of that was true. Now, and then also the caller, you and caller said that's their culture to eat cats and dogs. It's not. I'm from Jamaica. We don't do it. Now, if you're saying that, that means the mass shooting that happened in Atlanta, your culture with your people are the ones that run around with AR-15 do mass shootings. Is that your culture? Because every time you hear mass shootings, always from you guys. Now, I know that sounds cool to me.
James, can I ask you a serious question? Can I ask you a serious question? Are you high right now?
I'm actually just got off work. Now, the question is, are you high?
No. I'm asking you a serious question. It's not an insult. Are you stoned?
No, I'm not.
Okay, because number one, well, let me just go through it then, because obviously there's something wrong with you. Number one, I never said that that killing that took place in Cody, Wyoming was done by a Haitian because they had dreadlocks. I never said that. The caller did. So that's number one. Number two, no one said Jamaicans eat their pets. I don't know where you're getting this from. Haitians eat pets. Now, you're saying, where's the evidence? A, you have countless Haitians who say so. B, what I cited earlier, look it up. The Haitian Report. It's an official magazine by Haitians on Haiti. And they say in Haiti, especially in the countryside, cat meat is considered a delicacy. And they eat cat meat, especially on festivities. Réveillon is the big one. On December 24th, it's a large party celebrating Christmas Eve. People get together, and yes, they eat cat meat. You have Haitians who have now, Elon Musk rolled out a huge video on a Haitian American woman. She was born and raised in the United States, but her father's from Haiti. And she said, look, I have a Haitian family. They eat cats. They do. So you're going on about Jamaicans eating pets. You're going on about everybody has dreadlocks is a Haitian. You're going on about AR-15s, and this is part of my white culture. By the way, I'm not, I'm an American. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Christian. I'm not a racialist. I don't play the race card. The fact of the matter is, when you bring in people who are unvetted illegally into our country, they bring their customs and traditions with them. That's a fact. It happens in everywhere around the world. Now, you keep saying there's no evidence, there's no evidence, there's no evidence. There's body cam footage of a Haitian woman being arrested in Springfield eating a cat. There's countless eyewitness testimony. Here, I'll play it for you. Here is a 911 call. It's a 911 call by a resident of Springfield. And he's saying, I just saw a Haitian migrant. They have kidnapped a couple of geese from the pond. And this is what everybody's complaining about in Springfield. So here is the 911 call. This was made 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago. You want direct evidence? Here it is. Roll cut 2, Mike.
Clark County Communications. Oh, yes, ma'am. I got a question. This is a non-emergency line, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm sitting here. I'm riding on the trail going to my orientation for my job today. And I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hand. They got away. I couldn't make out the first 3 of the license plate, but I got the numbers. The last numbers was 9898, and it was a gray Toyota Tacoma they took off on. There was about 4 of them. There was 2 men, 2 women. I couldn't tell the age because I'm in a hurry going to this orientation, so I don't be late.
Now, there's more. I don't want to play the whole call. But he goes on and gives even a much more specific breakdown. Now, let me play you one more. Okay, James? Here's an African-American man. Okay? You don't get blacker than him. Since you guys are obsessed with skin color all the time, since you see everything through the lens of race. So let me tell you, you can't get blacker skin than this guy. Okay, James? He's a black American, an African-American. He's at the City Hall Commission hearing. There were hundreds of people there, residents. They went out the door. Black, white, Latino, all colors, all genders, all sexual orientations. Listen to what they're saying. His name is Anthony Harris. Roll cut 5. Mike.
I was out and about yesterday, driving around Springfield.
No, I'm sorry. That's cut 4. My bad. Cut 4. Cut 4, Mike.
I know a single mom that FaceTimed me tonight, FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them like.
Is he a racist, James?
Well, I've done that in Jamaica, so that's another thing. But you said cats and dogs. Where are those recordings? You don't have them. Donald Trump don't have them. You just
listen, look. I just told you there is footage. First of all, look, you called the show, and you accuse me of being a racist. Yeah, I know. Saying we have the recordings of the body cam footage of the woman eating the cat. The Haitian woman eating the cat. Okay? So, but there's more. But my point is just this. You call this show to call me a racist. But frankly, you're so stupid that you don't even know the difference between Haitians and Jamaicans. Because you think when people are criticizing Haitian migrants, they're criticizing Jamaicans. When nobody even mentioned Jamaica until you called this show. You see, that's your problem. That's why I honestly asked you, I said, are you stoned? Are you not listening? Are you high? No. You so hate us because you're indoctrinated. You're brainwashed. You're so in the tank for Kamala Harris. And by the way, just so that you know, as a Jamaican man, I'm going to call you out right now. You're a big, proud, tough Jamaican man. You like to call up radio shows and call people racist and think you're so tough for it. You're voting for a woman whose family in Jamaica, not Haiti, Jamaica now, okay? Let's focus. Was the biggest slaveholder in the history of Jamaica. Her family were the biggest slave traders and had the biggest slave plantation in Jamaica. They held black men in chains. In chains. Just so that you know, tough guy, my ancestors never held anybody in chains. My ancestors were from the old world. We were enslaved for 500 years under the Ottoman Turks. They enslaved us. And then the Nazis butchered half my family and the communists butchered the other half. But you call me the racist? So I want to ask you, point blank, as a proud Jamaican man, how can you vote for someone whose ancestors, whose family owned people like you? Can you explain that to me?
You just hear me saying, I'm not voting for her. Did you miss that?
Good for you.
I don't like her, so I'm not voting for her. And I don't like Trump, and I'm definitely not voting for him.
Well, that's okay. That's your loss. But don't do me a favor. Don't call up this show and call me a racist when you don't know what you're talking about. And by the way, I don't believe you. I think you will vote for Kamala Harris. I think I just shamed you. I think I just embarrassed you. But the fact of the matter is, if you can't tell the difference between a Haitian and a Jamaican, buddy, you got problems.
Us running, and that's how you want to spin it, and that's okay.
No, people heard you.
You go back on your track. I haven't called you a racist at all. You put that
You
word
led
out.
the show by calling me a racist. Yes, you did. We have the tape. Listen, look, listen, educate yourself. Haitians are different than Jamaicans. Haitians eat cats. Not all, some. And it's part of their tradition and customs. And the people of Ohio have been overrun. 20,000 were brought into a small town that previously was 40,000. And they can't cope with it. The place is a disaster. And that was brought in by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, not Donald Trump. So I know you like to play the race card because most dumb white liberals will go, ooh, you called me a racist. Ooh, I'm so scared. It doesn't work with me, James. If you care about yourself, your family, and your future, you'll vote Donald Trump. Otherwise, don't complain to me because you're going to deserve everything that you get. Thank you for that call. 617-266-6868 is the number. Nancy in New Hampshire. Thanks for holding, Nancy, and welcome.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you so much for what you do and all your great callers. I'm calling about an interview. I'm calling about an interview on Newsmax with Rob Finnerty yesterday morning with former NFL player Jack Brewer. He's been working for 15 years in Haiti with the mission orphanages, and he's rescued Americans from gang violence. And he sees firsthand of the culture of eating animals, the big voodoo culture, and he has it on his phone, proof, and he needs to get real voices out to support President Trump, because he knows the facts, and he said he's willing to do it. Can't let President Trump just sit out there like a wounded duck, and he's willing to do something about it. And he sees he has it on his phone, he has videos, and he also said they are like cannibalism also.
Well, cannibalism, but cannibalism is because of, look, how do I say this? The island got raped by Bill and Hillary Clinton. And all the aid that was supposed to go to those poor, suffering people was basically stolen. And then they've been hit with earthquakes and natural disasters. It is so poor. These people are desperate. They're absolutely desperate. And so part of the reason why they eat anything is because they're starving. And the cannibalism part, which is true, there have been videos of it, that's in really ravaged places where no aid has been able to get to. And these people are desperate to eat anything. And you see that in many failed countries and societies. North Korea has cannibalism. Communist China under Mao had cannibalism. Russia under the Soviet Union had cannibalism. And that's what extreme poverty and, frankly, socialism does. And that's why I feel very sorry for many Haitian people. I really, really do. But that's a different discussion. To me, you're right. They are bringing in people with customs and traditions that are alien to ours, who are not assimilating because essentially they're illegals. That's what they really are. They're not illegal immigrants who are being assimilated. You know, there are a lot of Haitians in Florida, very successful. They do very well. They're not just grabbing geese and ducks off of city ponds, but they're legal immigrants who come here and did it the right way and want to achieve the American dream, want to work hard, raise their family, and respect our culture, our traditions, our way of life. That's a different kettle of fish than what we're dealing with now. These people were flown in by Kamala Harris specifically into Springfield in the dead of night, wave after wave after wave. And they just give them government check after government check and basically tell them, do your own thing. You're on your own. And so literally now in Springfield, they have something called Little Haiti. There's so many of them, it's Little Haiti. And people are saying, it's like you're in Port-au-Prince. It's like we brought Haiti to America. Haiti is now in Springfield. To me, this is lunacy. And then when you describe, when I describe what is happening, people getting killed, people getting hit in the road, cars getting flipped over, garages, people are smashing, these Haitian migrants will smash their cars into garages. And they're handing out driver's licenses like it's candy. This is what I mean. This is multiculturalism on steroids. These people are insane. So you do nothing to integrate them. You do nothing to assimilate them. Nothing. And you just bring them in wave after wave after wave. And citizens are literally being murdered. Young boys are being murdered. And that fake mayor is saying, there's no problem. What problem? And it got so bad that the governor of Ohio just yesterday had to pour millions of dollars in aid. If there's no problem, why is he sending in millions and millions of dollars in aid? And on top of that, an army of state patrol troopers. Why? Because he goes, the roads are so unsafe. And the residents are saying, we're living in a war zone. It's not a city anymore. It's a war zone. And the only answer the left has is racist, racist, racist. But the blacks are complaining, racist. The Latinos are complaining, racist. Everybody's complaining, racist. These people are idiots. And Nancy, I want to play something for you. Because this needs to be confronted. And this is what's going to destroy us. I'm telling you, God is my witness. God is my witness. Like I'm in the confessional. I don't blame the Haitian migrants. I really don't. I don't blame any of the illegals that come in. I don't. You're living in some godforsaken hellhole where you have to eat other people potentially to survive. You're eating dirt. It's taken over. The whole island now is taken over by warlords. Okay, it's pure anarchy. And then someone says, I'll bring you to America. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah. And we'll fly you in. And we'll give you $2,000 a month. Prepaid debit cards. Are you serious? Free food. Free shelter. Food stamps. Clothes. Healthcare, education, sneakers, jeans, iPads, computers, housing vouchers. We'll give it to you all for free. You're crazy if you don't say yes. Who the hell would? I would say yes if I was in their shoes. Who wouldn't say yes? This is who I blame. I'm sorry, I'm going to get a lot of blowback for this. But if I'm there to speak the truth, then I'm sorry. There's no point in me being behind this microphone. I mentioned Aiden Clark, an 11-year-old boy. An 11-year-old boy. Killed. Okay, this was last year, August 2023. He was on a school bus. A Haitian migrant, as has been happening all over Ohio Springfield. They don't know how to drive. Many of them have never had a car, owned a car, given a driving permit, but wasn't supposed to be allowed to be on the road. Did not have a license plate on his car. Had no license. Literally, the car had no license plate. Drove down the wrong side of the road, flying. Smashed into the school bus. The boy there were windows that were open. It's hot. It's August. That poor boy flew out of the window. The bus rolled over and crushed that boy. 20 other kids in that bus were sent to the hospital, many of them with very serious injuries. The town was in an uproar. Now we got dead kids. You would think that the father, his name is Nathan Clark, would be livid at the migrants, would be livid at Harris and Biden, would be livid at the mayor and the governor. My son is dead, and this need not have happened. No. Nancy, you got to hear it to believe it. I'm going to play the cut. This is him speaking out. He wishes his son was killed by a white man. Because this way, there wouldn't be, quote unquote, any racism directed against the Haitians. You don't believe me? Here it is. Roll cut 31. Mike.
We felt it would be in our best interest to be here after recent comments. You know, I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. And I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt. But if that guy killed my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone. The last thing that we need is to have the worst day of our lives violently and constantly shoved in our faces. But even that's not good enough for them. They take it one step further. They make it seem as though our wonderful Aiden appreciates your hate, that we should follow their hate. And look what you've done to us. We have to get up here and beg them to stop. Using Aiden as a political tool is, to say the least, reprehensible for any political purpose.
I mean, he's a moonbat. The father's a crazy progressive liberal. And so, literally, Nancy, he's saying, oh my God, I wish he was killed by a 60-year-old white man. This way, all of this anger and fury wouldn't be directed at the Haitians. Nancy, hang on. I want to talk to you next. 9:19 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, let's go right back to Nancy in New Hampshire. Nancy, I got to ask you. A father loses his 11-year-old son due to a Haitian migrant driving recklessly, irresponsibly. It's vehicular manslaughter, as they call it. Yeah, vehicular manslaughter, and he's blaming conservatives, Trump supporters, saying, "I wish my son was killed by a 60-year-old white man," because then people wouldn't be blaming the Haitian migrants. To me, it's people like that. They're going to get this country destroyed. You just lost your own son. And you're blaming the people who are trying to defend and honor your son's death. To me, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But what say you, Nancy?
It is unbelievable, and I can't believe what's going on. There's so many things going on and stories and race card constantly. I'm sick of the race card to begin with, and that's these stories that you hear about people and young people dying, everyone dying from things like that is very sad days.
Nancy, it's got to stop. I mean, really, this self-hatred that you're seeing now from so many people, whereby even if you lose your son, you don't blame the perpetrator who did it. You don't blame the politicians who allowed this to happen. No, you blame the very people who are condemning this massive border invasion. You know, if he's so stupid that he can't realize, had those migrants not been flown in, had they not been there, his son would be alive today. Honestly, if we go down as a country, I don't blame the migrants. I don't. I blame people like that father. Nancy, thank you very much for that call. Cliff, agree, disagree. Cliff in Dorchester. Thanks for holding, Cliff, and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Jeff.
Hi, Cliff.
What's going on in Haiti is Joe Biden is giving 10,000 visas per month for the Haitians to come here. The reason they're doing that, they found out there is gold, there's oil, and there's cobalt in Haiti, the stuff that make batteries. So they need all that stuff. Haiti is being depopularized, and they have plans for it. The Haitians are selling the little goats, whatever chickens, whatever they have left, just to come up here. And then once they come up here, they don't know the way the system works. I came here like 45 years ago. You have to be vetted, immunized, and they usually ask your parents, what do they do for work? My dad was an engineer, whether it was building dirt road or soft shoulders, he was building roads in Haiti. But since 5 of us came to America, you got a master plumber, which is me, master electrician, which is my brother, my sister, she was a doctor back home. I have a serviceman, fireman, and a teacher, my older brother. So not all Haitians are created equal. I don't blame the Haitians coming up here. I blame, like you said, the people that are bringing them in. They're not vetted. Once they come here, you give them a license, you automatically register them to vote. So they know exactly what they're doing.
Oh, Cliff, you hit the nail right on the head. And Cliff, I know what you're saying is true. Obviously, first of all, you're a very honest man. I can just tell that. But because, see, I was born and raised in Montreal, Canada. And I'm sure you know this better than anybody, Cliff. There's a huge Haitian community in Montreal. And literally, I had Haitians as neighbors on my street. So when someone tells me Haitians aren't excellent immigrants, that's not true. I know for a fact. Exactly. They're very hardworking. Many of them are actually highly educated, very church-going, very Catholic. The homes, I'm telling you, they had immaculate homes. The way they cut the grass, trimmed the grass, I mean, they were fanatics. I mean, I'm saying this in a good way. So I know what Haitians are like. I don't need to be intimidated by people like that guy who called, the Jamaican. I know what Haitians are. But I also, because I know them, they told me, they go, no, Jeff, I'm telling you, in the hinterland, they have some voodoo practices. And also, some of them eat cat. They just do. They eat cat meat. They don't have the same relationship to pets like we do in North America. Now, the Haitians that I knew in Montreal, none of them ate cat meat, obviously. They were very well assimilated. They spoke French, which is why they did so well in Montreal. But, they were extremely well assimilated. They were excellent immigrants, very successful. But you nailed it. If you're going to just start bringing in people completely unvetted, and you're not going to integrate them, and you're not going to assimilate them, and hell, at least teach them how to drive, man. Well, you're going to have a catastrophe on your hands. Final word to you, Cliff.
Yeah. Also, Jeff, the best 30 years of Haiti was under Papa Doc. A fly couldn't fly to that country without having a passport or visa in the hand. He ruled that country with an iron fist. But everybody went to school. Everybody got, if the food got too expensive, he was a dictator. He would go on the radio and say, hey, listen, my people cannot eat, lower the price of the food. And everybody was able to do anything they wanted, not freely, but you can travel, you can send your kids to any school you wanted, to Europe or whatever, because Haiti was well respected all over the world. Right now, in America, anytime you see a black kid going to a private school, they are Haitians. My kids went all to private school, and we work hard to be where we are right now.
Oh, I know that. Cliff, I know that. Cliff, I know it wasn't easy for you to call. I really appreciate your call and your courage and everything. Please keep speaking out. Speak the truth, Cliff. God bless you, and thank you for that call. 9:31 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, we're going to get right to your calls, but first, joining me now, as she always does at this time, the co-founder, president, CEO of Kelly Financial Services, and yes, that is her wonderful name, Kelly. Kelly, how are you?
Good morning, Jeff. I am good. As the 2024 election approaches, older adults who cast more than half of all ballots are focused on a few key concerns. In a recent survey by the American Journal of Managed Care, it was revealed that older adults have concerns about financial scams, fraud, and healthcare costs. The country has seen an unprecedented spend in national healthcare expenses, far outpacing economic growth. With many older adults on fixed incomes, this has become a central issue in the upcoming election. Kelly Financial has a free investor guide called Election Uncertainty. Don't let the election rattle your retirement outlook. Its reassuring language and solid investment strategies will help protect your retirement nest egg and bring peace of mind. For the guide or to arrange a free retirement consultation, give us a call or email Kelly at kellyfinancial.org. Jeff, I will continue this conversation with our Kelly advisors tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on Safe Money Strategies Radio. Jeff, have a wonderful weekend. My best to Grace and the kiddos.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Have a wonderful weekend. I urge all of you, give Kelly Financial a call. Free retirement consultation. They will take excellent care of you. 888-800-1881. 888-800-1881. Or you can email Kelly directly yourself. Kelly at kellyfinancial.org. Kelly at kellyfinancial.org. Okay, very, very quickly. And again, this is not just what's happening in Springfield. It's not just the Haitian migrants, the illegals. It's from every country. Okay, migrants from every country around the world. This is what's happening. It's happening in Boston, in Massachusetts, in New England, across the entire country. But this is what the residents in Springfield are complaining about. And it's another thing that the media is deliberately ignoring, which is now when you bring in so many, and Biden and Harris have brought in over 20 million unvetted migrants into the country in the last 3 years. We're being swamped. No country can absorb that many people that quickly. And of course, you give them housing vouchers. You guarantee them free shelter, free food, free food stamps, health care, free education, free everything. Well, what's going to happen to the working class or lower income populations? I want you to listen to this. This is a homeless citizen of Springfield. And now he's talking to the city council, saying that we have been forgotten in our own country. We have been kicked out of apartments and other rental homes or rental rooms because we're paying $600-700 rent. But the government is giving these migrants $1,200 vouchers a month. So, of course, the property owners are saying, why should I take $600 when the government will pay me double, $1,200? And so they're evicting us, and then they make a few minor repairs, and then they take in the migrants. And now there is no housing, there are no rents, no rental apartments. There's now not just a housing shortage. Whatever is left is so expensive, they can't afford it. So they're now living on the streets. In essence, the migrants have kicked the people, the residents of Springfield, working lower income people, out of their own apartments and homes. Listen, this is unbelievable. Roll cut 29. Mike.
The homeless problem. I don't know of a single homeless Haitian in this town because they all got vouchers. But I can show you a whole bunch of people that have been displaced because I'm that guy. Rob, you know, for 25 years I've worked with the homeless in this community. You know, a lot of people don't know because I'm not the guy out there blowing the horn because it ain't about me. It's the Jesus in me that goes out there and does it. Trust me, there's days I'm tired. But I'll get into homeless camps that nobody in a suit and tie will walk into. None. They trust me because I've never let them down. You know, and guys, if you don't think it's here right now, in October, we are getting ready to hit a wall here. There is not any relief for the homeless. The homeless people in this community are not the people you think they are. The squatters that aren't happening. It's not there. There's veterans.
This is heartbreaking. Low income, working class people, poor whites, poor African Americans, just being thrown on the streets like dogs. Veterans, homeless veterans are sleeping on the streets in Springfield, Ohio. Homeless vets. They put their lives on the line for us. And we make way for the migrants, for foreigners, for illegals? And treat our own like this? And you're going to tell me the great replacement is not happening? Are you serious? I'm sorry, this is beyond disgraceful. It's a national shame. It's a national shame. And David Muir and Lindsay Davis and Kamala Harris and the entire fake news media have the nerve to laugh in Donald Trump's face? In the face of this catastrophe? This is the great betrayal. That's what this is. One more cut. I want to go back to the phone lines. This is not the homeless person now. This is a Springfield resident. Listen to what they're being kicked out. They're getting kicked out of their own apartments, their own rental homes. They're being replaced with the Haitians because the Haitians have the vouchers. It's all about the money. Roll cut 29A. Mike.
Come see me. I'm not real hard to find. Ask anybody on the street. They'll tell you how to get a hold of me. I'll take you there. And no, they don't want your toothpaste and your peanut butter sandwiches. They want you to come up with a solution to why they're displaced, why they lived in a house. I personally know, and I'll testify under oath, my hand to God, somebody that lost their house. They were there 7 years. The landlord said, hey, I need you to move out, find a temporary place. I'm going to remodel it, and then you can come back.
Thank you,
It was a lie. They moved them out, tripled the rent.
Thank you.
Follow
Thank you for
the
speaking.
money.
Now, did you notice that? Time's up. Time's up. Time's up. Okay, time's up. Time's up. Like, we don't want to hear this. We don't want to hear this. Now, can I just say this? I want to go back. I'm going to go to the phone lines, I promise. You're a city council member. You're being told to your face, Americans, citizens, residents of Springfield, your people are being kicked out of where they live for 7 years. And being said, yeah, I got to remodel. And then you can come back, but at triple the price. It's not it's not 600 or 500, it's 1,500. You go, I can't afford that. But the migrants, the Haitian migrants can. Why? Because they're getting government vouchers. Did the vets get a government voucher? Blank you. Did working class Americans, low income Americans, you ever get a voucher? Blank you. But when it comes to the migrants, hey, 5 stars, everything on the menu. Now, if someone's telling me this, I don't give a damn about the time. I'm like, okay, time's up. I'm like, what? Whoa, what? This is an outrage, and it's going to end right now. Right now. That's what I would say. I want the names of these landlords. I want names. I want addresses. I want the people who are living on the streets. I want you to take me to these homeless encampments. I want to interview these people. And by God, we're going to send every migrant out of Springfield. Period. Full stop. We take care of our own first. I'm not against charity. Believe me. I'm a deep Christian. But charity starts at home. When our people have a roof over their head, when our veterans have a roof over their head, when they got food on the table, and they can educate their kids, and they have health insurance, hey, we'll see what we can do. We're a generous nation and a generous people. But this is sickening. You're a Judas. Instead, that sleazeball politician. Okay, time's up. There's a petition now. The residents of Springfield are signed a petition. They want the entire city council replaced. Replace them. 9:48 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. Steve in Wakefield. Thanks for holding, Steve, and welcome.
Hi, Jeff. How you doing today?
Good. Well, I mean, a little fired up, but it's the topic, Steve.
Well, you've probably been through everything you went through everything I'm about to say, but I just wanted to add, I called the town manager the following day after the debate, and to my surprise, I got a hold of her. And so I asked her, I says, I'm just curious. I says, what Donald Trump had to say about migrants eating dogs and, homeowners, pets, dogs and cats. I said, is there any truth to that? And she says, oh, no, absolutely not. I said, well, how about, now mind you, I already saw some videos of 3 or 4 residents, citizens of that county come out and say, ducks and geese have been captured and eaten and killed and whatnot. So I asked her, I said, what about the ducks and the geese? And she says, absolutely not. I said, so I said, I've seen 3 or 4 videos. You telling me, the residents of your county are lying? She said, well, you want to hear her? She didn't answer me. She paused at first, 5 to 7 seconds. And she says, well, you want to hear my report? I said, I don't want to hear your report. I said, I believe the people of your county. And she kept going on and on and on. She said, you want to hear my report? I said, tell me. So she fed me a bunch of BS. And I said again, and she every question I've asked her, Jeff, she paused 5, 7 seconds. And I had to cut her off. I said, your pause tells me everything I need to know. It's a bunch of BS. So I called her. I says, I was polite. She was polite. I said, thank you for answering my call. She hung up on me. So I said, let me call a local business owner and see if there's any truth to this. So the first person, I called the sub shop. I said, they're blue-collar workers. They'll answer me. The first person hung up on me. Second person I called up, I said, listen, I'm a concerned U.S. citizen. I said, I'm not the media. I'm not calling for a pizza. I said, I got a couple of questions I'd like to ask. She said, let me put my manager on. She put the manager on. I said, is there any truth about what's happening, the stories? I said, because President Trump put your county on the map here about residents eating geese and home pets, dogs, cats, and geese. She says, she was a little wary of who she was talking to, so she gave me a couple of word answers. She says, yes. I says, how about any truth about estimated about 20,000 migrants who settled in on your community? Haitians? She says, you're more or less. I said, well, I spoke to the manager this morning, and she denied everything. She had said, doesn't surprise me. What's going on here, she said, is you wouldn't believe it. And now hearing your stories about people getting run over, families getting displaced and thrown out of apartments. And just yesterday, 48 hours later, I'm at the gym, and they have a host of TVs, and I see on the Jim Acosta show, this Trump's doubles down on debunked story about migrants in Ohio eating. I said, they're still running with this story. This is incredible. What are guys like Bill and Sudbury and Ben and North Andover thinking? I mean, have they called your show and weighed in on this? Because this is incredible. I can't believe. I'm beside myself.
Steve, look, it's the Hunter Biden laptop. I'm telling you, it's the same. They lied about the Hunter Biden laptop, and they got exposed. This is, I'm telling you, the Hunter Biden laptop of 2024. They're lying about what's happening in Springfield, and they're going to get exposed. And look, the truth is the truth is the truth. And look, you know the expression, you're going to believe me or your lying eyes. That's what that city manager essentially is saying. She's under tremendous political pressure to lie because they're bribing all these officials. There's a lot of money involved. So they've sold their city, their county, their state out for the money. That's why they're lying. But you're right. Blue collar people, ordinary, plain, hardworking people, they're just going to tell you the truth. They live there. And they're like, it's even worse than you think. And she's right. Steve, we're going to win this. We're going to win the election, but we're also going to win on this story because we have the truth on our side. Thank you for that call, Steve. Ann on the South Shore, thanks for holding, Ann, and welcome.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Good, good. How are you, Ann?
Good, thanks. I don't know why everybody is so surprised about this cat eating news. I mean, China has been eating dogs for how many years?
That's very true. Yeah, Indonesia, they eat dogs, and like different cultures have different customs. You know,
exactly. So
yeah, and look, I'm not telling the Chinese not to eat dogs. I mean, like, I think it's disgusting, but that's, you know, hey, I'm not telling the Haitians, especially in the countryside, you guys want to eat cat meat? That's okay. That's your business. We just don't want it in America. Ann, am I wrong?
I think they've tried, or they may have even outlawed the Yulin Dog Festival due to an American actually going over there to stop it. But this is not a new thing for different cultures. You know, like they were trying to blame COVID on the Chinese eating, you know, whatever animal.
Yeah, wet market, the wet market. Yeah, bats and...
Chinese have been eating strange things for years. This is not a new thing. And I'm not being discriminatory against them in particular. I'm just saying eating a pet an animal we call a pet is not a new concept, and people are just laughing like it's so ridiculous that it can't be true.
Well, they're just ignorant. You see, you're right. They don't understand foreign countries, foreign cultures. Look, we in the West, we're a different culture and civilization. We have a relationship with pets, dogs and cats in particular, that most other cultures don't have. You see, that's in many ways. Look, they're the ordinary ones in the sense that most cultures and most civilizations don't look at dogs and pets like dogs and cats as pets. We're kind of a bit eccentric, according to the world. You know, in the Middle East, they don't have dogs as pets. They hate dogs. So what I'm just saying is, that's fine. Look, that's fine. But if you're in America, then, you know, as in Rome, do like the Romans. As in America, do like the Americans. And they're just showing their ignorance. You're completely right. Other cultures eat foods that we consider strange. And they consider us, they make fun of us how we love our pets. They think of it from their point of view. You guys value animals that much? That, you know, you get them vaccinated, you feed them, you take care of them, you bathe them. Like, really, they think we're nuts. So it just shows you how ignorant, how provincial, honestly, how stupid so many liberals are. You're completely right, Ann. 1,000% correct. I gotta go. Bye-bye.